Everybody, it's Lily with Let's Talk. God bless you. Hope everybody's having a great weekend and a blessed weekend. Wanted to jump on and do a video about this trial between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. He is suing her for defamation. And it's a really interesting trial. But before we get into that, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe button and the bell icon so that you can get future videos. We're going to cover a lot on this channel and different topics, so definitely want you to pull up with a chair and some coffee and let's talk about it. Before I get into it, I really kind of want to give you guys a background of what we're talking about. And I hope that all of you are watching this trial. It is extremely interesting and very telling. But for those of you that don't know who Johnny Depp is, where have you been? Where have you been? Now, he is a world-renowned actor, and he has done several movies over the years. He has done Edward Scissorhands, and I've seen all these movies. Edward Scissorhands, he's done Alice in the Looking Glass, he's done Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, he was Willy Wonka in that. He has done all of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. He is Jack Sparrow, Captain Jack Sparrow. And so he's been on a lot of different movies, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen those. Amber Heard is his ex-wife, Johnny's ex-wife. They were married for 15 months before they split on allegations from Amber about abuse from Johnny, which would include physical and mental abuse, and actually violently sexually assaulted are her allegations. And you're going to see as the trial goes on, if you're watching the trial, that that's exactly what it is. It's allegations, and made up allegations. So with that said, I'm not going to hide the fact that my stance on it is I'm all the way Team Johnny after watching the testimony and listening to the witnesses and everything that's been brought in the case so far. Amber definitely is the instigator here and has lied quite often on many things concerning this case and other things. The actual trial, there's been 7 days of testimony so far in the trial, and they have 6 weeks for this trial. Once the 6 weeks is up, the trial's done. So basically, they have to get all their witnesses and testimony and all of that in, and documents and whatnot before the 6 weeks is done. Okay. Now, as I stated before, Johnny Heard, I'm sorry, got my words all mixed up tonight, y'all. I'm sorry, and I don't want to have to edit this video, so bear with me, okay? So Johnny Depp is suing Amber Heard, his ex-wife, for defamation. The claims that she has made against Johnny has literally just ruined his career. He has had a lot of lost financially through this whole thing. And of course, when you get something like that, that's kind of tagged to you, then you lose movie roles and people don't want to call you anymore to do movies. And so it's taken a real toll on Johnny's side. And if you're watching this trial, you know what's going on and you know why I'm Team Johnny. So everyone, as I've always said, definitely has their own opinion on things, and are you're definitely entitled to do that. It's just my personal opinion is I am Team Johnny. Okay, just based on the testimony and the witnesses and, Johnny Depp himself. He's been on the witness stand the last 3 days of this trial. Now, on Fridays, the court is closed. So they don't have court on Fridays. So this trial goes Monday through Thursday. It is on Court TV. Also, a lot of people are doing YouTube videos on this where they're doing the live coverage from beginning to end of the day on the trial. And usually that starts at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and ends at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So those are a couple places that you can watch this. I will post a link to the Court TV so that you can catch it on that. I'm also going to put a link for the leaked audio that you're going to hear in the case. It's quite interesting as well. So I'm gonna post a link to some of that in the comments down below this video. Definitely in the comments, leave your suggestions. Definitely want to talk about it. Any suggestions you have that you want to talk about, anything, definitely put it down there. We want to talk about it. So with that said, Johnny Depp, the reason that he's suing is that there was a op-ed that was posted in the Washington Post by Amber Heard alluding to the fact that he physically, mentally, and sexually assaulted her and abused her. It alluded to that fact. Now, it did not mention Johnny's name, but in the time frame that she references experiencing domestic violence is during the 2 years that she was married to Johnny, or that she was with Johnny. So even though it doesn't say his name, it does allude to the fact that Johnny was a violent person or abuser to her. Now, they did do another case similar to this. It's a libel case with the Sun newspaper, because in their article, they had stated that Johnny was a wife beater. So Johnny also sued the Sun. I believe that was in Europe. He sued the Sun for that particular article. And he lost that case. So now he's in the USA and he is suing Amber Heard for her op-ed in the Washington Post and accusing him of domestic violence towards her. With that said, a lot's come out about this. All the dirty laundry, all the things, about Johnny and about Amber, so far in this trial. Johnny is very honest and up for coming with, his drug abuse and addiction problems. There's been testimonies from his doctor and from the marriage counselor and all of that. So he's very, very honest about his issues. His words that he's used towards Amber aren't ones that he's proud of, and he states that. So he has said things to her and called her names, as she has done to him, that you're going to see in this whole thing with this trial. So, but he vehemently denies any physical or sexual abuse against Amber. You're also going to see, as you watch this trial and as you pull up the videos, the leaked audio, things like that, that Amber was the one that was the instigator, and she was the one that was calling Johnny names and hitting Johnny and punching Johnny. Now, I will tell you, just to back up a little bit, the first day of this trial, and the second day, they did their opening arguments, Johnny's side and Amber's lawyers, her side. They did the opening statements. They also had the first witness that they had was Johnny's sister, Chrissy, and she had testified about how, as she kind of gave a background to their growing up and how they grew up and things in their family and that she testified that his mother was quite abusive to the entire family. She beat the kids. She was very abusive to the husband, and as children, her and Johnny were the youngest, and they would immediately, when these things would come up, they would go to another room and hide, like they left the such situation. And you're going to see how that's important as we go on here. But they would just leave the situation. They wouldn't, I think Johnny was saying that, when his mom got that way, you just didn't want to cross her path at all. So basically those two would run and hide to stay away from the situation. All right, so that was partly, described as his bringing up as a child. He has been very passive. He's always been very passive, very humble. He's known to be just a very humble individual, very passive, very likable. He's an actor, but when you see him and when you hear him speak on testimony, you'll be able to get to know the real man, the real person. He doesn't hold anything back. He is who he is. And is he proud of some of the things that he said and did in this relationship? Of course not. He's not. Okay? But he's honest about it. But he's also honest to the fact that he never was physically violent towards her or sexually violent towards her, as she describes. It's really a sad thing, okay? And just, she's done a lot to him through the years and treated him very, very badly. And like I said, I'll list the link for the leaked audio here, but on that audio, you'll hear where she's belittling him, she's hitting him, she's slapping him, she's, calling him a fat old man. She's made a reference to his child, saying that she hopes his stepdad, the child's stepdad, can teach him how to be a man. To Johnny, is what she said. So, she said some really hurtful things. She's done some things to him. It's come out that she has been very violent towards him. And said some very mean things to him as well. But it has also come out that every time that happens, and you'll hear on the leaked audio that they have, that Johnny, the first thing that he would do when they get in a fight is he'll go run in the other room and he'll close the door. He'll get away from her. He doesn't want to be around her. And of course, you'll hear how Amber has pursued him and gone to the door and tried to bust the door in, and, all of that. She complains about him leaving every time they have a fight and, going to another room or going somewhere. It got to the point when they would travel that his people would book him a separate room, okay, in case they got in a fight, he could go to that room. So to me, that's very telling as well, because, he was prepared for that to happen and he was ready to retreat. That doesn't sound like a wife beater to me. That doesn't sound like someone that sexually violently assaulted her. That's somebody that wants to get away from the confirmation, hence his childhood, how he used to do with his mother. Apparently Amber has been extremely brutal toward this man. They had an altercation in Australia that has come out where she accuses Johnny of punching her in the face and dragging her by her hair and, pulling a clump of her hair out, and also sexually assaulting her, raping her, I guess you would say. Obviously, Johnny vehemently denies it, and you can also see pictures where Amber has hit him, and there's bruises on his face, and where he's been scratched by her, and things like that. So there's no doubt about it that, there's been violence in the relationship, and you're going to hear and see that Amber is the one that has been violently vicious towards Johnny. Is the relationship toxic? Absolutely. These two don't belong together. Okay, it's toxic. But I'm going to tell you that he loved her. He loved her. And you hear him mention in the trial how he wanted to protect her. I mean, if you want to put common sense to this whole thing and say, hey, if you had violently abused someone or your wife or spouse or whatever, sexually violently assaulted them, those kind of things, would you really, being a big star like Johnny Depp, knowing that this could ruin his entire career, which it already has, so it doesn't matter how the trial really comes out, so that's really here nor there because it's already ruined his career, as far as his roles and what he does. But would you really go to court knowing that all of this dirty laundry and crap is going to come out on the table all over to sue for defamation if you weren't telling the truth? Johnny's whole thing in this is he just wants the truth to be said, because at the end of this trial, no matter which way it goes, he's still got that tainted on his record as a wife beater or as, accused of doing these things. So, of course, nobody wants to hire him. Nobody wants to cast him. Nobody, in Hollywood wants to deal. So he's lost a lot during this whole thing. He has nothing to lose right now, other than the fact, he wants to tell the truth. And yes, he is suing her for $50 million. I would too. He's completely ruined she's completely ruined his entire career. So he is suing her for $50 million. Okay. There came a point in this relationship where Johnny said he had enough. He couldn't do it anymore. And he talked with Amber and his ex-wife and said, we got to stop this. We can't do this anymore. I believe that's on the audio. But he doesn't want to do this anymore. So he wants to end it peacefully, and he doesn't want to hurt her. He cares about her, but it's a toxic relationship, and they can't be together. And apparently, Amber Heard had agreed with this, and he asked her what she wanted. They had settled on $7 million for her to keep her mouth shut, okay? And, not make this public, and let's do it quietly kind of thing and whatnot. Supposedly, she had donated that $7 million to some charities. Couple of charities. I don't remember exactly what they were, and I'm not going to pull up all of that during the video because, like I said, we're just chit-chatting and discussing the whole thing. But she had apparently supposedly donated that $7 million to these charities, and we'll come to find out these charities come up and say, no, we didn't get any money, and where is it? Like, we didn't receive anything. So that's another thing in itself. But just backing up a little bit, and we'll talk more about all that as the trial keeps going on. Like I said, there's 6 weeks of this trial, so there's still more witnesses. There's still Amber Heard herself that needs to get on the stand and tell her side and be cross-examined, which I must say is going to be very interesting to say the least. But with that said, so when Johnny approached her with this and told her, hey, we got to end it. Now, let me just back up just a little bit, because these two had agreed to some recordings of their conversations. Okay, not all of them, but some of them. And I really don't need to know the details as to why. Maybe said that, I think they were saying, or Johnny was saying, so they could go back and reflect on it and all of that. So with that said, conversations were recorded, but also there was conversations that were recorded that, for instance, Johnny didn't know about. Okay, like she secretly recorded conversations, like she set him up without his knowledge. And you're going to hear that if you're watching the trial. You're going to hear, Johnny state on the stand that was illegal. He didn't know she was going to record something. But it still doesn't say anything about him, doesn't show, there's nothing in the audio to indicate that he physically abused her or sexually violently abused her in any way. But there are indications that she did admit to hitting Johnny. She belittles Johnny. She calls Johnny names. She talks about his children. She puts him down all the time. Now, he has said words and names to her that are not so great either, and I'm not going to mention those on this video. You can listen to it in the audios. That he's not real proud of, okay? But again, it doesn't say that he hit her. And it doesn't mean that he beat her. And you're going to see that. Anyway, so backing up, not trying to get off the part I was telling you about. But anyway, so when he approached her about getting this divorce and they talked about it, they agreed. What does she do? She goes the next day and files for divorce. And of course it goes public. So, to me, as you look at it and you listen to it, you're going to see that Amber just wanted to rush down there and get this divorce so she could make these allegations towards Johnny. I mean, simply put, I just think she was in it for the money. And as the trial goes on, you're going to see where she's been with other people and ruined other people's relationships and, just all in it for the money. And it's horrible, the things that she's done to Johnny Depp. So if it sounds like I'm a little opinionated here and I'm okay, it's just because I've watched the video footage. I've watched, the testimony for the last 7 days on this. And it's shocking. It's alarming. But you have to be proud of Johnny Depp for stepping up to the plate and admitting his wrongs. Or there's a lot of it he's not proud of. And you can see that. But also, it never meant that he beat her. He vehemently denies ever beating her or sexually abusing her in any way or raping her or anything like that. And I believe him, along with many others. When you really look into it and see what kind of person she is and what she's done. Now, with that said, even though, like I said, she didn't say Johnny's name in this op-ed, in this article in the Washington Post, the timeline that she's referring to in this article as being a victim of domestic violence is the time that she was with Johnny Depp. So his argument is, you don't have to use someone's name to put two and two together and know that that's when she was with Johnny Depp during that time. So, and I happen to agree, especially after the Star came out with their article, because everyone picked up on that, and it's been a media frenzy for several years now. I mean, this is, they would have had this trial back then. Okay, this trial is airing right now. They're doing this right now, 6 years later. And the reason being is just going through all this and everything happened. And then you had the pandemic and, just all of this stuff that delayed this trial until right now. I know it's been a long time coming for him to get this trial. With that said, Amber is apparently countersuing him, I think, for like $60 million or something. I don't know. I will look into that and let you know, if for those of you that don't, or if you want to comment about it and you know about it, definitely leave it in the comments. There's also been rumors that it's known that she did have an affair with Elon Musk. Rumors that it was an affair. Now, Elon Musk and her say that there was never any, intimate things going on with them. And that it was, they actually started dating while Johnny and Amber were married. There was no intimate, they were saying there's no intimacy between the two of them. But they started dating after they got divorced or they were separated or whatever. Now, people from his side, the security guards, the people there, and the estate manager of where Johnny's residence is, have stated that they saw Elon Musk like the second month after they were married, would enter her home late night hours when Johnny wasn't there and left early morning hours. So she gave also him the security codes to get in and out of the building. So apparently these two were seeing each other while Johnny Depp, a month after they were married, in Johnny Depp's house while Johnny Depp was away. So that, Elon Musk is on her witness list. Now, I don't know if he's going to testify for her. There's been rumors that he was supposed to testify for Johnny, and he's on Johnny's side, so I don't know. But it's on her witness list, and if he does testify, I don't think he'll be in a courtroom. They seem to think he'll do video. So we'll see about that. Elon Musk is trying to take over Twitter right now. This is the richest man in the world. So I don't know if he'll show up in the courtroom or if he'll be doing this via video. We'll see. Or if he even testifies at all. Okay. There's rumors that Jason Momoa is going to testify, which is Aquaman, of course, and she played in Aquaman. Since all of this, I don't think they want her in Aquaman anymore, the sequel here. So we'll see. But again, this has definitely ruined the career of Johnny Depp. I don't know if you all are aware. I'm probably sure you are by now, but, they're 23 years apart in age. She's 35 right now, and he's 53, so right in there, so do the math. But, yeah, there's quite a bit of age difference there, and you can definitely see the immaturity from one to the other, okay? How you can obviously notice the age gap there. With that said, let's go back to the Australia incident, because she had accused Johnny, of course, of punching her in the face, and she had these pictures with this little bruise under her eye, and I'm sure you all have seen that, have been keeping up with this. And she, had redness in her face and a little bruise there and whatnot. Saying that he punched her and repeatedly hit her and dragged her by her hair and ripped out clumps of her hair, and also sexually violently abused her or raped her, I guess. Again, Johnny vehemently denies it, of course, and like I said, as watching this, I believe him. She's a real piece of work. You'll catch her in a whole lot of lies and things that she said and all of that. But again, there's also pictures of Johnny where she's hit Johnny. She scratched Johnny. Now, apparently, it came out that the bruises on her face came from, well, she's saying that Johnny headbutted her as well. Okay, not only did he punch her in the face, but he headbutted her. Okay, now, apparently that is not what happened. Johnny explains that, she was on a fit of rage and she was hitting him and trying to, punch him and all of that, throwing punches, and he basically grabbed her by her shoulders and put her on the bed, or grabbed her by her shoulders, I'm sorry. He grabbed her by the shoulders, put his arms around her to hold her so she quit punching him. And apparently that's when she said he headbutted her, but he said he did not. He don't know if there was, she might have hit her face or something, but he never headbutted her. He tried to get away from her in the bathroom and locked himself in the bathroom, and of course she came banging on the door trying to get in and said that, he hurt her feet because her feet got caught under the door or something when she was trying to get in, and Johnny was trying to close the door because he had the door a little open, I think, or something, and she tried to get in and he was trying to keep her out. So she said, ow, she was upset. Um, Johnny went to see. Oh, let me see. Let me see what happened. See if she was hurt because apparently the door hit her feet. She scraped her feet. That Johnny. She's saying Johnny did push the door on her feet or whatever. So Johnny asks her. Everything. Stops right there, and he's like, "Oh, let me see, let me see," and he sticks his head around the door to look, and she, of course, punches him and decks him, just decks him, and there's pictures of that. Um, just a sordid mess. I mean, it's. Whew. Um, so anyway, a lot of people are claiming that Amber Heard's photos are obviously makeup because there were several witnesses so far that have stated, even from her side, her personal assistant that was there during that time testified, security testified. There was a lot of people that testified the next day after that altercation that her face wasn't swollen. In fact, she didn't even have makeup on that morning, and the assistant said she never saw any type of bruises, any type of anything on her face or swelling or anything like that. But the next day, all of a sudden, these pictures come out. So, yeah, really interesting stuff. Now, like I said, Johnny's been on the stand for 3 days, okay, telling his side of this, and they're right now cross-examining him. So Amber's lawyers are, questioning him and trying to catch him in all these lies, and it's quite entertainment because, boy, I'll tell you what, Johnny is right on that money. He is not letting nothing slip past him. Okay, he's very sharp and yeah, so he's not missing a beat. Um, it's really interesting because as you get to know Johnny on the stand, he seems like a very humble, nice person. Like all the witnesses that have have testified so far, um, describe him as being this man. He's very, very humble and very likable. Um, I think on the last Thursday when they did the testimony, he was on the stand, and like Amber's lawyer said, had showed a video where Johnny was upset. He was obviously, you know, messed up a little bit with drugs or whatever, alcohol, whatever it was. And he was showing a video that he calls an illegal video because he wasn't aware that Amber was shooting that video secretly. But it shows Johnny, just punching on some cabinets, and he takes a glass, and she keeps taunting him, of course, and he takes a glass and he pours some wine in, and it's a rather large glass. Okay, it's a large glass, and Amber's lawyer says, well, ask him a question on the effect of that mega. You had a mega. How did he say, a mega pint of wine. And Johnny just kind of laughs and says, a mega pint of wine. And the way he says it, of course, everybody laughs, even the jury, because the way they're describing this glass of wine that he drank. And he said, no, it was a rather large glass of wine, but it wasn't a mega pint. So that you have to watch it to understand, but it was pretty entertaining to the courtroom and the jury. So you could watch Amber Heard's body language in all of this and how she's reacting and judge yourself. I'll leave that at that. Yeah, so it's yeah. There was one witness that was on Johnny's side that got dismissed from the trial, and her testimony struck from the record because she had been watching the trial prior to the witness, her witnessing in the trial, and that's not allowed. So she had watched some of it on media, and they dismissed her. So, and then there was also one of Amber's friends that was also dismissed from the trial for, you know, sitting up with the lawyers. Actually, for some reason, she got to sit with the lawyers, and she was kind of taking control of Amber's trial, and she was tweeting back and forth about the trial and things. So they dismissed her. It's been an interesting trial so far. So if you haven't watched it, you definitely want to do that. It's pretty interesting. And you're going to see a lot and hear a lot that's just, wow. I mean, they put their lives right on. At least Johnny has put his complete life out there and has definitely been forthright and honest about the whole thing. You're going to see that. I do want to tell you there is one clip in there in that video where they show Amber actually took a dump on Johnny's side of the bed and left it there. So, like, she literally crapped on his side of the bed and blamed it on the Yorkies, the couple of Yorkies that they had. And Johnny was like, oh, well, I've cleaned up the Yorkies before, and they don't do like that. Not that big of a mess. So, to say it lightly. But anyway, it came out later because Amber had told the estate manager of the building that they lived in that it was a harmless prank, admitting to the fact that she had crapped on his side of the bed. Just really disgusting crap, okay? Anyway, to say the least. Anyway, trying to keep it clean on this video, but, you know, just, can you imagine somebody just doing that and leaving it in your bed? Okay, so the housekeeper or whatever calls the estate manager and Johnny and lets them know, hey, somebody crapped in the bed. There's human feces. Because she had a party there, her birthday party or something. So anyway, with that said, really a big deal going on. I think a lot more of her problem is going to be coming out here shortly, and hopefully, in my opinion, I hope that Johnny wins this trial. Time will tell. We've got a little while yet, a lot more witnesses to go, including Amber herself being on the stand. So, interesting stuff. Like I said, I'll post the Court TV link there, and you can also catch this on YouTube. It'll start again on Monday morning at 10 a.m. Okay, so, and if you miss it because you're working or doing whatever, you'll be able to go back and watch it because it'll be on YouTube as well. Like I said, a lot of people that are doing it live will have it recorded, and you go back and listen to it, so you won't miss anything. I've had to do that myself because I work during the day, so I've had to go back and watch the entire videos. But with all that said, you guys, I'd like to know your thoughts on this. I'd like to know your comments and what you think. Whose side are you on? What do you know? How do you feel about it? And, let's talk about it. Let's talk about this thing. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out and what happens with this trial. A lot of stuff has come out about it. A lot more is going to come out about it. And as far as I'm concerned, the stuff that's already come out about it is definitely looking good for Johnny. So, as I said, he has said some things that he's not proud of, called her some names he wasn't proud of, said some things to her that he wasn't proud of. But he never, again, he vehemently denies he ever hit her or was physically violent, sexually violent, any of that, okay? As she alleges that he was. So, I'll be anxious to see her get on the stand and his lawyers come and cross-examine her. That should be really interesting. She definitely has a temper. She definitely knows how to taunt and how to gaslight and take control. And Johnny, again, is known for running in the other room and shutting the door. And you're going to see that. If you watch this trial, if you watch the videos and the clips on it that they have out, you're going to see that that's what he did. And she's the one that chased him and prodded him and hit him Actually, she admits on audio that she hit him. So, it's all very interesting. I feel bad for Johnny. He's lost a lot in this thing. She again, like I said, has been known to have affairs with other men and during this time, and it's all going to come out. So I would like to know you guys' opinion and what you think. We'll be going over more of this, and I promise I won't wait a week to do that, but I did want to wait the first week and at least get the first week out there before we started talking about it. So I will definitely keep you up to date. Next airing of this trial will be on Monday on Court TV. And of course, like I said, the YouTubers will have that. So I'll watch that. We'll get on and talk about it. But I certainly do want to know your comments about it and what you all think. Okay. Thank you so much for coming and watching. And any suggestions or anything you have, please put it in the comments. Love you guys so much. God bless and have a great evening. Bye now.